things. We let love give us wings. It's the key, it's free, it's for you and me. You and me. So let's discover love's great wonder. Let's discover the spell we are under. Love. With Mililli, love. Piano, kind of excited. Hello. I'm Merlin Mililli. Welcome to the Love Show, where we grapple with the question, what is love? Today, we want to know, is love Zen? We hear this term, Zen, in today's society, but do we know what it means? There is a common definition online here in America that defines Zen as a school of Mahayana Buddhism, but the philosophy behind Zen, what Zen actually means, was sort of absent from the internet. The Cambridge English Dictionary got a bit closer, further east, in that they spoke of the Buddhist school, but also defined Zen as an adjective meaning relaxed, not worrying about things that you cannot change. Okay, so I have a book, and it's called Soto Zen, and it's printed right here in Mount Shasta at the Buddhist Abbey. And it takes about 140 pages for a Buddhist reverend to define Zen, Soto Zen specifically, and it says on the cover that it is just an introduction to the thought of serene reflection, meditation, the school of Buddhism. So according to this book, one is a Zen master after one has mastered meditating under a tree in nature for at least an hour. So I went and did this because I figured I meditate anyway, and I love trees, and I love nature. And I thought of this perfect spot out in my yard between these two big cedars with a great view of Mount Shasta and Mount Shastina. So according to this book, after meditating out there between the trees for over an hour, I'm a Zen master. I do think I get Zen more. I understand Buddhist practice and Zen a little bit better, but I'm not sure I'd say I'm a master. I'm not sure I've mastered anything in life, but maybe I can define Zen a bit more than the Cambridge English Dictionary. Although to meditate at all, one needs to be relaxed and not worrying about things that one cannot change. You can't really meditate and worry at the same time. It doesn't really work. So I definitely think meditation is like the highway to Zen. It's the path. It's how you get there. But to me, Zen is when you can master not just meditating, but meditating with your eyes open while you go about your day. Being able to meditate in normal situations like walking or cooking a meal or driving. If you can meditate with your eyes open and still go about your day, that's Zen. Zen is like, it's a groove, it's getting into a groove. It's hitting all the green lights on your way to work. It's a good positive groove that's just for you. It's forces working in your favor because you found your positive attitude. Your groove is your Zen. Is it your love that creates that groove? Your love for yourself and respect for yourself? Love for your life? There's a video on YouTube by Ananda Tirtha Swami entitled The Zen of Love. He says that love always needs to expand because the nature of love is all-encompassing. I'm never sure how to pronounce his name, but Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh discusses love at great length, and whenever discussing Zen, both the Swami and the Zen Master agree that love should bring one joy. That if love does not bring joy, then it's not love. The Swami goes so far as to say that if love is not all-encompassing, then it's not love. He says that lust is limited, and it is not all-encompassing, so it is not love. We here at the Love Show have determined through several shows now that lust or sex is not love. So we seem to be on the same page as the Buddhists and the Swamis and the Zen masters. Swami Tirtha goes on to quote Plato, who says, quote, "The vulgar love of the body which takes wing and flies away when the bloom of youth is over is disgraceful, and so is the interest in love of power or wealth." So Zen is grace. And I would say that for sure. Zen is grace. Because that's the sort of thing that makes you gracefully go through all the green lights, or, gracefully walk down 5 flights of stairs without a problem. Grace is Zen. But is grace love? Grace is Zen. Another love show, perhaps. But is Zen love? Have you heard of rainbow body? This phenomenon is pretty awesome. I want to become a rainbow. Which is pretty much what they say happens to these folks. But it's really quite fantastic and complicated. But basically, these folks are said to have loving thoughts, nothing but loving thoughts, for several years. And eventually, they become rainbows. I don't really know how else to say that. And I know it sounds crazy, but there are thousands of documented cases. And you can look it up. There's been thousands of witnesses to the phenomenon, and it's really quite amazing. But it is something that currently seems to be a thing that Buddhist monks are capable of achieving more than most other folks, as most cases of recent rainbow body have been Buddhist monks. So they shrink. Their bodies actually shrink. They wrap them up in all these linens, and their bodies just shrink. And they leave behind a small little ashen body, like a figure. They're very small. And there is always a rainbow. And this phenomenon is not limited to Buddhists, though, and it's apparently been happening for thousands of years. And one of the early cases that I've heard about was Romulus, the founder of Rome. He is said to have disappeared in the temple on the top of Mount Etna. Some claim there was a rainbow. Some even claim there was a double rainbow. I mean, this is a story that Italians just know. You just know about the rainbow and Romulus, and he disappeared, and how fantastic. But I'm half Sicilian, and my Sicilian grandmother always said that our family descended from Romulus. And I never really gave it much thought, and I didn't really understand who Romulus was as a kid, really. And then when I did learn the stories in school of Remus and Romulus, I asked, well, why not Remus? And it's because Remus never had children. They were brothers, but as the story goes, Romulus killed Remus. In self-defense, though. And I think the rainbow body thing sort of clears Romulus here, where there's any doubt that he killed his brother in self-defense. Because if he did actually disappear and go rainbow body on the top of Mount Etna, then he had to have had only loving thoughts for many years before. So Remus never had children. Romulus did have children and spent a great deal of time on Sicily. I'm half Sicilian. Some say Romulus was just a myth, but I believe many myths are actually true. And Mount Etna is on Sicily. And if Romulus did exist and did actually disappear, go rainbow body at the top of Mount Etna, then he would have had to have had only loving thoughts for many years before. Therefore, it would be true that he killed his brother in self-defense. And perhaps through atonement, with with loving thoughts, he then became a rainbow body. We found in our Is Love Atonement episode that love is in fact atonement. So perhaps to make up for killing his brother, which, if he did in self-defense, he would have felt bad about. If, they say the thing about like psychopaths and murderers, if you go out of your way to kill somebody, normally the problem with that is not necessarily the murder, but that the murderer has no remorse. That's when there's a problem, when they don't feel bad about it. But anyway, we found in our Is Love Atonement episode that love in fact was atonement, and so perhaps to make up for killing his brother, he expanded all encompassing love and became love. Now that is Zen. I think we found it, folks. And I just went with an obscure thought, and it brought me there. That is Zen also. But love, is love Zen? I think, well, not exactly. I think becoming love is Zen. Are you with me? Are you following me? Even trying to be love, trying to become love, trying to always have loving thoughts. That is Zen also. So not only did these rainbow body folks become rainbows, but they became love. Are rainbows love? Maybe another love show. Maybe Nirvana is becoming the best, the best that can be achieved is to become love. The highest level of Zen is love. But I suppose a lot of things are Zen. And many things we are finding here at the Love Show are love as well. If I go back through our love shows, I bet I would find many of the things that I have found to be love to also be Zen. Which leads me to believe that Zen is love. The path to Zen is love. We found that the path to peace is love here at the Love Show, and I would say that peace is also Zen. Is love Zen? Yes, love is Zen. Yes, we have found today, I believe, that love is Zen. So get out there and meditate on love, folks. Become love. Because it's Zen. I love you. Thanks for watching. Love!